Apple employs 26,000 people in its design of making new products. It employs, through Foxconn, 700,000 manufacturing workers in China. They're an American company. They're headquartered here. All their jobs are somewhere else. Americans need those jobs, but they all exist in China. Every one of those manufacturing jobs exists in China.
These are jobs that could very easily be in Silicon Valley, in Oregon, Northern California in general, along the coast, for which they're well-trained and very interested women and men who would take them in a heartbeat.
That from the new documentary Death by China, which takes on our incredibly unbalanced trade relationship with the rapidly developing world power. But it's not just the jobs. It's a trade agreement that forces a 25% tariff on U.S. goods entering China, but only a 2.5% tariff on Chinese goods entering the U.S. It's one of the many reasons we currently owe more than $3 trillion to China. The film draws a stark line between the hardworking people in each nation and the governments that are allowing their respective people to be victimized and exploited. Joining us now to explain how all this happened and tell us what we can do to fix it is economist Peter Navarro, who wrote, produced, and directed Death by China, and Forbes columnist Gordon Chang, who appears in the film and lived and worked in China for nearly 2 decades. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be here, Crystal.
So, Peter, if you could just open up by explaining a bit, the book the book and the movie actually are called Death by China. How, from an economic perspective, is China killing us?
Crystal, it's unfair trade practices. I mean, if you go back to the year 2001, when China was allowed to get into the World Trade Organization and essentially invade our markets, since that time, our economy's grown at a third of the rate that it used to. We've lost 20 million jobs because of that. 50,000 factories have disappeared. And basically they use what I call in the film weapons of job destruction. And it's basically 5 things. It's the illegal export subsidies. It's the currency manipulation, the ungodly counterfeiting and piracy. And, of course, the working conditions and the ability basically to put anything in the air, anything in the water. And they sell things into this country, into Dayton, Ohio, into Pittsburgh. They sell below cost, and basically they're trying to create jobs, and they're taking our jobs, and that's how they do it. It's unfair.
Gordon, you and I have talked at great length about what you call China's coming collapse and its fragility right now. And I'm wondering, do you think this administration has missed opportunities to exploit those weaknesses in China?
Well, I think that they have. But, it's more important what the administration hasn't done is taken a realistic view of what's happened in China. The Obama administration, like all administrations before it, comes in with these unusually conciliatory policies. But we really haven't adjusted because China's posture in the last couple of years has become not only assertive but belligerent. And that's why nations in the region have been turning to Washington. And we need to show a little bit more leadership because things in that area are getting very, very difficult and very troublesome.
Gordon, I want to play a clip of you talking in the film.
When the workers in China are being abused, then workers in America have a tougher time competing against them.
5.5 million manufacturing jobs gone.
57,000 manufacturing facilities closed in this nation.
China until today is a totalitarian regime. It's a dynasty, not a republic, not people's country.
China's military power is strengthening very, very rapidly.
It's developing a modern, well-equipped, technologically capable military.
China is the only major nation in the world that is preparing to kill Americans.
China preparing to kill Americans. Gordon, why would China want to kill their best customers?
Well, also because they see the United States as an obstacle to what China wants to do, which is to establish dominion over the South China and East China Seas, to push the United States out of Asian waters, and also because it feels that the United States stands for things which are incompatible with China's system, which is the reason why China is configuring its military to fight us. They're designing weapons that are meant to exploit American vulnerabilities, such as the DF-21D carrier killer missile, and also their J-20 stealth fighter, which is designed to bring down American airborne early warning planes. So this is really a problem for us. You know, the Chinese have been talking for more than a decade about waging war on the United States, and we really haven't been listening. You know, it's like bin Laden in the 1990s talked about this. We didn't pay attention. And right now, the Chinese have been warning us what they want to do.
Peter, there's a lot of controversy about this film. What would you say to those who say this is jingoistic fear-mongering?
I would say watch the film and judge. There's about 50 people in the film from all walks of life, from both political parties, who talk very eloquently about the issues related to jobs, related to product safety, related to national defense, and also related to the horrific human rights abuses that take place every day in China. There's one guy in the film, Charles Lee, who was in a Chinese forced labor camp. He comes back to America and he finds the Homer Simpson slippers he made in the labor camp sold in America. I mean, so watch the film, and what I'm trying to do here with the film is basically have the message, I think, which is going to be the winning message in the presidential campaign, which is that the best trade program, the best jobs program is trade reform with China. It's not this more fiscal stimulus or easy money by the Federal Reserve. And I just think that so many people, the media, the politicians, get our economy wrong. If we want to fix it, what we need to do is we need to reopen those 50,000 factories, get those 6 million manufacturing jobs back, and really, China will prosper as well if we have a level playing field, which we do not now.
All right, Peter. Gordon, looks fascinating. I'm excited to see it. The film is Death by China. It premieres this weekend in New York. Thanks so much, both of you, for joining us.